This is a smoke break with Spaceman Jones. Proudly sponsored by Earthy Now and Urban Combat Wrestling.
What's happening, everybody, man? This is Spaceman Jones with a smoke break. And today we have a very special guest. This is a guy who we both love wrestling. We both black men. And I was on his podcast, Jobber podcast. Shout out to Sir Wilkins and Janelle. I think that's how you say her name, right?
Yeah, Janelle.
Yeah. Shout out to those folks. We really appreciated being on y'all podcast. So now,
well, no problem.
Yeah. So now we are here with Mr. Blacc, and for those who don't know Mr. Blacc, he can give an introduction for himself.
What up, everybody? I'm Mr. Blacc of the tThe podcast, and we're part of an overall network that we created called the tThe Network. It's featuring the tThe podcast. It's featuring Your Sports. It's featuring Cats and Dogs. We have many on show down the road. I am a black man from New York. I'm a diehard wrestling fan. I love hip hop. I love anime, and most importantly, I love me some weed.
Oh yeah, man. We are pro cannabis. We are pro cannabis on the Smoke Break podcast, and we are also pro mindfulness. So I like to start every smoke break with a little bit of 10 breaths of mindfulness. So what we'll do, we'll get in a meditative stance mentally and physically if you can. And I invite everybody who's out there to join in, and I'll count off 10 breaths. And we'll do that round of 10 breaths, and we'll just kind of let the energy be what it is. All right? And we'll start now. One. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Man.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
And now, man, we here, man. It's 2020. It's been a shitty year. You know what I'm saying? Wrestling's been kind of a bright spot though for me this year. You know, a lot of stuff going on. Shout out to Keith Lee. Hey, man.
Yeah. To me, that even though it was spoiled, but it gave it still like a big fight feel.
Yeah.
Given to the end, it was very entertaining, and it shows you that WWE is leaning towards what makes sports great. They forgot who they were because they kind of escaped away from that and make it more PG, not realizing that people don't care. It's not the cursing and stuff like that, but people still want to feel like it's a big fight feel.
Yeah.
Yes, UFC is violent, but at the end of the day, though, it's still something it still gives that big fight feel. Like you feel in the crowd, like Keith Lee is money. Like he said, like everyone said, like he still have a long ways to go. But for where he came from last year to now, his mic work is better. He's getting his staple go-to moves that he's having right now. That you're noticing that he's perfecting his craft in WWE to make it more WWE style, entertainment style per se. And for me, that was a very tremendous win.
And then NXT beforehand. Now, with that, I noticed that there is a lot of championships that are on people of color in the WWE. Now, something that I was always adamant and vocal that there wasn't enough of. Do you think that this is a sensitive ploy, or is this just keeping heat off of him?
This is the first time WWE have a lot of black people
Yeah,
that's able to like move needles and sell merch. You know, like a large collective of it. It was always like 2 or 3 here and there, and that's it. You know, everyone the one they got treated as like the lower card, they didn't get their respect. But now, if you realize, there's always been a rise of black wrestlers in WWE throughout the whole years for a while. Like, let's go back to it. We had Jason Jordan. You know, we had Apollo Crews. You know, we had a lot of foreign-born Mexicans. I mean, Spanish people, foreign-born Korean, not Korean, Asian people. So they always bring it into the fold. And the one thing people don't notice that is they'll give them time to show their skills off in the ring. You know, look at the cruiserweight tournament. Like at the cruiserweight tournament, Cedric Alexander got signed, and then he held the cruiserweight title for a while. Like he carried that brand. Him, Mustafa Ali, and
all people of color.
Murphy Lee. Yeah, it's all people of color, but like Mustafa Ali, a person of color.
Yeah.
So overall, is they doing it the right way they're supposed to do it, not too much. Do it all out. Yes, they doing it very subtly. Like let's try this because honestly, that's how you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just do it the correct way without being pandering.
Well, and honestly, it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad that it's been a long time coming. But I can kind of see. Okay, we was talking. The last time we were together, we had a conversation about the agents. That came up in conversation.
Yes.
So I think that we might be seeing some of these guys fingertips on how some of these black stars are getting pushed. So I myself had not watched WWE product in a while because I couldn't stand it anymore. It was pretty much blatant to me, you know. So I would catch the highlights and watch, but I couldn't. I wasn't gonna waste my time sitting down and get disrespected by them. But now, you know, I may watch Raw Monday.
Okay, I won't say SmackDown always been put on like great quality. It's more for the. It's more of a wrestling show, you know.
Yeah.
It was. Let's be serious. Wrestling. I mean, SmackDown was our NXT before NXT.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that they experiment a lot
on
SmackDown.
It was the B show, definitely.
They experiment a lot. For example, you don't see Raw having a 60-man Iron Man match, did you? No. They experiment on
because
SmackDown.
They have a certain formula that works for Raw.
Boom.
That's it with.
Boom. But with Raw, I have to say, MVP has been the MVP of Raw.
And let me tell you, he was saving that up, wasn't he? He was saving that up for years, man. He has never been better. He has never been better.
Little details he has.
Everything that he does is meaningful. He makes you watch him the entire time that he on, because you never know what he gonna say, and everything that he does, like it ties into something else. He is showing how good, and I think he might be the only one that's not scripted.
Yes. Oh, if you want more MVP, watch Main Event. Like I've been watching Main Event for the past couple of weeks because I was like, "Where's Bianca Belair?" I've been watching other people not really on television. Bianca Belair been put on a clinic. I'm telling you this: being on Main Event is not a demotion. There's no house shows right now. So what's the best way to get people a good 15 or 20 minutes and still able to train and be in front of the audience?
Yeah. It's a way to get people over, like just like you said, it's a way to get people seasoned, and it's a way to get people over because there's something that you can't waste time and do on the main roster, even on NXT anymore. Because well, if the ratings dip, then then you're gonna lose money for the advertising. And you
exactly.
You can't
house shows. Like house shows is good. Don't get me wrong, but house shows does not put you in front of the camera.
House shows is the bread and butter for the financial industry of wrestling. Always.
Yes, but it's not good to really develop people because
no.
It's not. House shows.
It's a good way to get the green off of new guys. You know, it's only good for the new guys.
But as far as like the talent in front of the screen, these now C shows are the best way to do it because when you think about it, I'm watching Bianca Belair. I think like she's on her 4-week winning streak, and I'm watching MVP. Good. I'm watching Cedric Alexander. It was Cedric Alexander with Ricochet versus Buddy Murphy versus Austin Theory.
Yeah.
They put on a clinic. Like they put on a. Oh, I watched that match. I was just like, I gotta see main event.
I noticed that Austin Theory wasn't on TV this week.
Well, it's all about what's been going on with accusing him for certain stuff, but hopefully it's not true. But you know how it is, man.
I actually I commentated his last indie match.
Really?
Yeah, him and AC Mack. They was I was working for the School of Morton then, and we had brought them through Greene County Fair in Tennessee. And,
what's your opinion on Austin Theory? Like, what do you think of him?
He has the goods, but I think that he is a little mechanical. He's a little mechanical. He can't sell that good because he doesn't really. I mean, he registers in his face. He does everything that you want him to do, but it's something about him that doesn't believe fully, I think. No, I don't buy it all the time.
He hit me watching him a main event. He's nervous.
He doesn't have the confidence. You can see it. He don't believe.
Yeah, because he missed too much like giving spots. Like I mean, one stop he supposed to be at a certain position, and it's not the first time that he missed a certain position. Like he missed the little stuff. Like overall, he's a good package. It's just be the little stuff, like you said, like his facial expression is not as believable compared to if you feel me, like he's nervous. And honestly, it is kind of nervous because you just came to NXT and now you're in the main roster during the whole pandemic with people who've been busting and chopping way longer than you. Yeah, they now during the pandemic. Come on.
They pushed him too fast, and I think that he might be getting a little heat in the back, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody might be, telling him, getting on his ass about his mistakes. I think that's probably something that's going on. I would probably say that is what's going on. Because he's in his head. So he know that if he missed this spot, he gonna get cussed out. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Because I know that happens a lot with young guys.
Of course, but it's just like people forget, dang, there's my roll up right here. People forget, like, honestly, wrestling is still a job. Wrestling is still a mother effing job. WWE, and when I really sat down and thought about it, I said, some people I'm reading JR's book. Actually, I read JR's book. I read the audio. I had the audio book. And he said that some people just come there for a check. Some people just happy just to be on WWE's team. AKA, some people is happy just to have a job. You understand? And people don't want to work as hard as they want you to get so nervous, get too much in their head. And unfortunately, this is why people get released. Like, for example, look at Drew McIntyre. He got released, and they know you always have a job welcome here because WWE always will be watching you. What happened? He went out to the Indies, perfected his craft. Not only like he perfected his body, like he started. Okay, watch the Claymore kick when he was in 3NW, and watch the Claymore kick right now. Literally night and day.
It's a different move. His move set, his mic skills, the way he carries himself, because he got the confidence, and that came from working. It's the same way that the old guys, when it was the territory, and then whenever there was a lot of house shows, you got in the car, you got on the plane, you got on the bus, you got around with the older guys, and y'all worked town after town, night after night, and that's how you learned everything. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's going on with Austin Theory right now, is that he doesn't have that. He's not. A lot of them, because I don't think that it's a nurturing environment at the WWE training facility, wherever they at right now. I don't think it's a nurturing environment. I don't believe that they are doing things to reinforce their young talent. Either you got it or you don't. Either you can make it in the worst type of situations, or you can't. So,
But Austin Theory in general is kind of a shy guy. Like he doesn't talk because what did I notice? People always annoy him as next man up. So he never had in the Indies. We noticed he never had really a lot of doubters.
yeah,
Imagine you come to WWE, there's people like someone like let's say someone like Kevin Owens, great example. The way he built, looking like chill young blood.
yeah,
What do you know? You feel
yeah,
me? Like or
yeah.
somebody that who has a very long who been there, who been where he's at. A Seth Rollins, like boy, like I was RH, like relax. And what you did was wrong. Look at you being mad, cocky, like what. Cool dude. I met him, real cool dude. Actually, this interview on him went on our page. Really cool dude. But I won't be surprised, like you said, like they critique him so much by all the little stuff.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
expect so much. Like, okay, he see himself here.
But
Everyone else see himself here, but they hold him to that standard all the time. There's no room for error when it comes to Austin Theory. So that's what it is. It's just like, come on, you have no excuse. Because if they didn't trust him, you think they'll put him with a worker like Buddy Murphy
nah.
and Seth Rollins? No, they won't. There's a reason why he's a good prospect. You know,
Oh,
just like
he's a great prospect, but he's a great prospect, but I don't think right now he doesn't have the confidence to carry. He doesn't have the confidence to fill the shoes that they got him in. He getting blisters on his feet because his boots too big. He needed to go through, maybe go down to the lower levels and work his way back up. And he'll be way better for it. Like when he get up there, he'll know his shit. He'll know it because everything has been kind of. I'm not gonna say he done worked his ass off because you don't get a body
of course.
But at the same token, I think that he has been anointed from ever since he left AR Fox school. He is, you see what I'm saying? Like this is the next guy. So it's not like, okay, get over there. What's your name? Austin Allen? Get over there, Allen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's the big piece. Yeah, but now, honestly, overall, just to like, to close my POV, Austin Theory is going to be good. Oh, hopefully, I believe he's going to be good because he literally has all the tools. Like, he's basically like he's like that. He's a handyman where no matter what the job is, he has a tool for it. Yeah. But right now, somebody who's better than him, who's doing longer than him, probably looking like relax, or he messed up so much. Like, you know what it is? He messed up all the little stuff so much. What I'm noticing, people got on him. It kind of messed up his confidence. But again, with the whole Me Too, with all the speaking out movement, everything going on, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot, man. And you know what, man? Speaking of that speaking out movement, man.
Talk to you.
Boy, it swept through the wrestling industry like a wildfire. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it. Okay. Let's say this, man. I done been in locker rooms before where there was underage girls, and I have literally had to walk around and be on dudes like, don't you know she fucking 17? That's a goddamn quit. I have literally had to do that shit at shows. Literally. Had to have several conversations like, man, this is a fucking kid. I mean, damn, you gonna get us all, and this was way before the speaking out movement. And it was like, you gonna get us all fucked up. We can't take this shit. Chill. What is you doing? Like, and wondering like, and telling her like, stay the fuck out of, you know what I'm saying? Quit letting these motherfuckers in your face. God damn, you gonna get us, everybody gonna get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, no matter what, man.
It's bad. It's bad. Overall, I agree with you. It's just like we live in a world where freaking, let's be serious here. It was acceptable back in the day. It really was. And I'm not even gonna be like, oh no, you read the most PC answer. Nah. This is conversations like this, I have to call it the kitchen table talk. Because certain conversations cannot leave the kitchen table. But at this point, for me to actually pay attention why people think it's so cool, because we've been doing it for so long, for years.
So long.
Let's, like, when you was in high school, even when you was in high school, it's even more acceptable here. Like a college, people, a freshman in college, then a freshman in high school. It was just all normal. It was the ish. My generation is, I'm seeing 7th graders dating a dude in high school with a car and everything like that. And it didn't hit me. It's like I'm old. I'm looking like, Oh, you was fast. Like you was fast. Like he had a whole car, and he was 20, and you was 14, and you was 13, and you was having sex with him. That's not normal, but we normalized it.
Well, I
But
mean, what in the black community I can well, I'm not even gonna say black community. I'm gonna quit fucking saying that. In poor communities, in middle class communities, and in rich communities,
all
this
communities.
shit has been normalized in America. Now I can remember watching movies from this back in the day. And they was always marrying off the little young girl. Like if it,
Little girls.
man, they was marrying them off like she's gonna go live with Mr. Such and Such, and it's like a normal thing. Okay, so
Pocahontas. Pocahontas. Like,
Pocahontas, yeah.
damn. Pocahontas, like,
Just
she
think,
was she was basically she was well developed before her age. You know, she had an adult body on her. But then when you realize that she was only 16 and that dude was like 20 something, 26, looking like you're nasty. But yet it was normalized.
well, I'm gonna tell you this.
Teach me, King.
I know that for a long time, uh, it was acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Especially like in agricultural society, like when it was mainly people living on farms, they had a lot of kids. So when the girl came of age, you know, when she had a cycle or whatnot, you know, it was a normal thing to go start looking for a husband.
Yep. 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 It was very
But
normal.
I'm glad. But see, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm glad that things have changed because we have to start. It's got to start somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's got to. You know what I'm saying? And I can remember when I was younger. You know, like you said, that was a normal thing. Like it was a normal. It was. It happened in all levels of society. You know. And,
Prime example. Have you ever seen the movie Belly?
yeah.
Remember the part when DMX girl got a call from that young girl? He's like, "Yo, how old are you?" I'm 16. He said, "How can we couldn't do nothing until we were 16. I've been sucking his dick." Okay, you thought it was just talk, but then he was in the car with her getting head from her. When I was younger, I thought, all right, you know, it was so normal. I think nothing of it. Like I'm not even gonna play like Mr. PC right now. No, it was so normal to
It was
me.
very
It
normal.
went over my head, and then until I reached the age I am right now, I was watching because Belly's my favorite movie. I'm looking at it, I was just like, yo, DMX is nasty in this movie. Like she was 16 getting head from her. Like you have a whole grown woman, right? A whole grown woman who's submissive to you, but yeah, you want to have sex with a young girl?
Now, how
Like,
many? But look though, how many times have you seen that in real life?
mad times. Mad
Count,
times.
countless times. So what kind of so what's the conversation? The conversation is we it was normal, just like it was normal. Now I can remember. I'm 42. I can remember in the 80s when I was in elementary school. I can remember hearing white people say nigger every fucking where. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. You'll walk in the store and they'll be like, you know, them damn niggers in here. And it was just like something you fucking heard, like, yeah, shit, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't say it, but you thought
Yeah.
you went and bought your little shit and you went on out the damn store, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the hell. You know, it was like a commonplace thing. Um, I'm glad that the world is changing because it always felt fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I don't. I'm gonna tell you this, man. We all got shit in our past. You know what I'm saying? And some of the things that I believed in, some of the things that I took part in back in the day was some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that I was able to wake the fuck up. I went to prison too many times, like you know what I'm saying, and finally learned how to be a damn human being. You know. Um, but that's gonna roll into what I wanted to talk about anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The conversation was that we are both in the wrestling world. You know what I'm saying? And we are both black guys in the wrestling world, which is a whole nother like whole nother
Topic. Yeah.
and it's a whole other thing. Cause you know, I catch it from black people and every time I say they be like, wrestling? Nigga, you mean like wrestling, nigga?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I be like, yeah, like wrestling. But you know, with the challenges that's inside of this industry and inside of like this whole kind of fandom too, what are some things that you are taking away from this wrestling journey that you've been able to apply to your shoot life as something in the business?
Being more open-minded to the people that I deal with and come across and who are fans of per se, you say the me of the show, like it opened up my eyes to a lot of like a whole new world of people who deal with many different mental illnesses because you know some of it could be a little bit artistic, some of them could be like slow of just it's something to register in their head. Like although it was nice, but it gave me a little soft side to understand that it helped me see that this is all what people have sometimes. It's just what they are diehard fans of. And someone like me, it made me more grateful for the opportunities that I was able to present myself. You know, like when you hear like these normal conversation among men where you hear that, yeah, you know, like I never had a girlfriend ever, this, that, I never kissed a girl. You like 30 something. Yeah, I know. And then made me look at myself like, dang, bro, you was put in a position where you always were able to win. So some people actually coming to you for advice. You looking like, bro, this is common sense. But they don't know that.
They don't know.
It's common sense that. But to them, it means the world that you telling them, hey, bro, I was just like you. People get shocked when I tell people I used to stutter. They go, you used to stutter? I'm looking like, very bad. I say, how you ever come down? I give people hints like, slow down your speech. Read. If you're not a big reader, put on captions when you watch movies, Netflix, whatever. It'll help you expand your vocabulary because you'll hear people saying it and you'll see what they're saying. So that will help you practice perfect your speech.
Yeah.
So it teaches me it taught me the ultimate life lesson in life that you are forever the student and the teacher. You're forever learning and you're forever teaching. As long as you keep on doing that interloop of that infinite, you know, cycle, you forever will be you forever will allow yourself to grow to that next level. Because I literally went from I hate myself is I love myself and F everyone else to now is how can I improve the ecosystem around me? And that's the conscious level that people always have to reach. How can I improve the ecosystem I'm in the wrestling world? I feel like not everybody has the voice. Some people has the skills to present what they're trying to say, but I'm gonna provide a voice to everybody. And that's why I realized that I have a gift.
Yeah,
not everybody has the gift that I may have it. So in my shoot life, wrestling taught me to be humble, to be grateful, and always give back.
Yeah, man. That's something that really warms my heart, man. At a lot of the shows that I've been to, especially a lot of indie shows, man, you'll see a lot of special needs people in the crowd. And I always watched and see which wrestlers go and deal with them. And a lot of those guys are the guys who you'll see at our show. We always love to have, we love the special needs people, man. They have such genuine hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when you do something for them, like, you know, you put on the show or you are able to get them around their favorite wrestler or, you know, just
sweetheart.
And when I was doing commentary for the School of Morton, man, and after the shows, the fans would still be in there, and there was always this little girl, and she would come up and she would talk to me. I really like your suit, Spaceman, you know, you know, and that type of thing, man, and just to be able to be down there and to get love, like genuine love, in a place where a lot of people, you know, the wrestling world is a dog-eat-dog world for the most part. You know, people are out to get their spot. They out to make their money and do their thing and to get some genuine love that's not creepy, because sometimes love from the fans is a little bit creepy, you know. But I don't never get that from the special needs people, man. It's always
Never,
for real.
never, and especially
You know?
those people like there's one of our homegirls. The name slipped my mind. You know, she's in a wheelchair. She's a sweetheart. She talks to us. She laughs with us. That like I can't remember her name right now, and I really want to shout out. She's a sweetheart. There's other people that we know that we always come across. There's one guy, a black guy. He's in a wheelchair. You'll see him. He's pretty low key famous. He was everywhere, and to see him as being himself, I'm looking like, wow, this is amazing. Like, it honestly gave me like. Wrestling is like real life, you know, like as far as being a fan, whatever. It teaches you how to deal with wrestling is like retail. It teaches you how to deal with everybody from across the pond, like from the smartest people to the dumbest people. And you can literally meet all those people within 1 hour. And to me, that's amazing because it gives people. Because me growing up, I have to say, is I was always considered the outcast. You know, people thought I was weird. I could never really be myself because I just couldn't. But in wrestling, I look at like, I like to say that I became the cool kid, and I didn't want to become the cool kid because I ended up being myself. And in wrestling, you are become the cool kid because people like you if you just be yourself and just be humble. But one thing I don't like when people take advantage.
For me, man, what I love about wrestling is that man, you are a lot of times if you are a man. If you are an adult and a good dude, then everybody loves you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just all about that a lot of times when you're meeting real people. You know, man, I really, really appreciate being in this business and just living out the dream. And like you said, getting the love, because it ain't always about that, man. When you run across it, it's a rare thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I want to ask you about, like, you in New York, right? And it's a lot of good indie wrestling out of New York, man. A lot of big names came out of New York. Proud and Powerful, Homicide, Eddie Kingston, just to name a few. So who was on your legends list of New York independent wrestlers, man?
Dang. Of course, you know, my personal favorite is Tommy Dreamer. Like, I love Tommy Dreamer. I just love him. I met him in person. Really cool. I like him so much because of his loyalty to the ecosystem of wrestling.
Yes.
And you notice that because he was so loyal to the ecosystem that it paid him back.
Oh, yeah.
She'll treat him good. And that's the one thing I'm realizing, that when you treat wrestling good, it'll treat you good back. Yes, you're gonna have your ups and downs, like anything in everything in life. But when you gave back genuinely, it always will help you in return. Look at JR. You know, Vince paid him a buttload of money his last 2 years. Like, he didn't even need it, but Vince paid him because he looked at Vince. Because he always was there for Vince. And JR gave back to wrestling. He gave us Shelton Benjamin, Johnson, many people across The Rock, Mark Henry, many people. He introduced us to the wrestling world. Yes. Now he's in AEW.
Doing
his
the
wife died. Same thing, but guess what? It's a brand new company, and he said, like, I like being around something that I feel useful because his wife died. Because wrestling was so good to him, it gave back. You know, this is why I love wrestling. It's just
me too,
you
man.
have a dude like Bray Wyatt, like, you could literally. This is me as a standpoint as a fan. I could literally come to any event, dress as a wrestler, and it's okay. And it don't have to be Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, man, for sure, man. Anything, man, I'm gonna tell you. I didn't have a good relationship with my son, man. I tell this story all the time, man. I didn't have a good relationship with my son, right?
Why not?
Because, man, I went to prison from the time he was 6 until he was 14. You know what I'm saying? And before, you know, I had left from the time he was like 3.5 to 5. And then, like, we got a little bit of time, and then I was gone again. So when I came home, he was pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, man, you know, we didn't vibe for years. You know, but he always been a wrestling fan. That's something that we shared.
How is he now?
Oh, he's 22 now, man.
He's young. he's a baby.
Yeah, he's 22 now. But he's but you know, he been wrestling for about a year and some change now. You know what I'm saying? Getting it in. You know, we use him a lot, you know.
Do you have a better relationship now?
Oh, we have a great relationship because of wrestling. Because of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? When I was starting to go into the school and I knew that it was something that he was interested in as a kid. So I just asked him like one day, you want to go and train? You want to try it out? And he was like, yeah, I try it. So you know, we paid for it. And got him in there. I mean, he took to it like a duck to water. You know what I'm saying? And now he doing good.
Wow.
You know, so professional wrestling kind of was able to help me and my son to get a better relationship, man.
They got your son back.
Yeah, man. I'll forever be grateful. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm staying down with it. You know, shoot, a lot of people laughed whenever we said y'all gonna be wrestling, wrestling, man, y'all. Shit, we did it though.
Man, listen, wrestling is like if you can't do football, I would say the next best thing right next to it, just give you that feel of locker room, whatever, is wrestling. Because like people forget that.
Yeah, man. So man, as we proceed on into this conversation, man, being on the podcast, right? You got the Jump podcast, and so you get to deal with a lot of different personalities. As y'all are doing the podcast, what has been a memorable interview for you?
It was two. It was these two happened this. Dang, these two happened this year. The first one, no. Actually, I have three. One when we interviewed Chad, that was like actually four different members. We went to Chad Gaspar, RIP to him. We interviewed him, and that was just like, wow, a WWE star. Like that's when I appreciate that. I watched this man on television. He took the time out just to talk to us. That interview, Leo Rush, like that interview alone was just powerful. Like,
man, I dig Leo Rush, man. I a lot of people had heat for him and the Mark Henry thing and this whole thing in WWE, but I say, hey, man, you standing up against, because to me, right, Leo ain't want to carry them boys' bags. I don't blame him. It got shit to do with wrestling, man. That shit ain't got shit to do with wrestling. It don't got shit to do with learning the business. That's just some old oppressor ass shit.
It's tradition. Tradition. It's definitely tradition, and I see it from both angles, but I thought that Mark Henry should have did like, you know how people around, let's be serious. You know how people, let's see, your peers around your age are not the greatest communicator.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
Let's be serious here. They're not. So I feel that Mark Henry never articulated that very well to him. And I feel they should have more people who's able to understand the middle child, who understand Child to J. Cole, who understand the younger generation and can understand the older generation. You need that stopgap in between there. WWE don't have those guys.
They don't have that. And I'm gonna tell you, that's a problem that I've been having too personally. Like, man, I be talking to these young guys, man, and it'll be like they'll just rub me completely wrong, and I guess I'm rubbing them completely wrong. And I think that, especially in the Black community, it's like what happened with my kid. Is so many daddies don't went to prison that a lot of times the younger generation don't have no respect for the older guys. We wasn't around.
And a lot of them are very sensitive.
I know. I'm extremely sick. You want to know why? Because we wasn't able to, like, when I was growing up, it was all G.I. Joe and He-Man. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say, damn, that shit hurt my feelings when you talk shit about me because I was reading a book. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say that. I had to go something in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the tools that we had. You know, and there's no excuse. We got to get out of it. We got to get out.
You're right. I agree with you. But that's the thing. There is no excuse for that. And this is why I feel there's always going to be a big, like for example, I know an older cat, right? He's like my dad, RIP to him. And he actually died because of COVID. That's a whole nother thing I don't want to get into. And there's always like an age gap. Like it always like we always was butting heads. Cause I told him directly in his face, like, don't tell us that we're a very disrespectful group if y'all raised us. No one told y'all to do crack. This is why we became crack because of y'all decisions. No one told you. No one told you not to have unprotected sex to have us, and now it ruined your life. No one told you to do that. So this, I told him that. He looked at me. He was just like, "You're wrong." I'm looking like, "No, I'm right." And then a lot of people around older cats don't want to face the fact that I actually did bad.
Guilt.
And this is why it's hard.
It's guilt, and it's the complex inside of Black masculinity. Like, have you noticed that the farther back in history you go, to the 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s,
Mm-hmm.
the more macho Black men was. You see what I'm saying? The farther back you go, the more macho them niggas was. You see what I'm saying? So there was no talking about your emotions. There was no, like, if somebody, this prime example, man, you can't tell my daddy that he was wrong about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we was little, I couldn't when that was against the law. That was against the law. Period.
I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like we got modeled with that the man's word was law. You see what I'm saying? I know we got modeled that in my household, and my family was kind of the same way. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna talk back. You know, that was just what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when that's what we modeled. So we don't want to hear somebody saying y'all was wrong for this and wrong for that. Because we didn't get to tell our parents that they was wrong for this and wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? So we just keep it on with the bullshit. But I am who I believe in communication. So if I feel like I don't wait till somebody got a problem with me to fix it. If I feel like I'm positive with somebody, I always approach them on my feelings. Like, I didn't like what you said. I try to do it like one-on situations. You know what I'm saying? And I find that there's fireworks and sparks at first, but if you remain open to the conversation and remain open to communication and able to say, you know, I may be wrong about this, but I wanted to come to you before it got too bad. You see what I'm saying?
Not too bad. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I've noticed that if you catch people one-on-one and you remain open to communication, then you can fix a lot of that shit. Like, I'm like batting like 86, 87% with that approach. It usually works. Only with dumbasses does it not work, and fuck them anyway. I'll beat them until they can't move no more. But if you got some sense, then we can work it out, man.
Yeah. But because the downside about that, I agree with you. There's the other, 15% that's dumb. But those are people who still children. Because I was in a situation with a particular female, and like I was trying to explain to something, and I said, "What you did was dumb." You call me dumb? I said your actions were dumb, not you as a woman. And then I was trying to explain to her, and I kept on shutting her down. It's casual. I'm like, "You're wrong." And she just got mad. "Don't talk to me that way." Started yelling, and I looked at her. I was just like, "I'll never talk to you again." Because that alone, your reaction alone, it just pissed me off because it showed in my eyes the immaturity that you have, that you cannot even carry a conversation without yelling.
Yeah.
Because it just showed me that, you still deal with your insecurities. It no longer is a we problem. It becomes a you problem. Because I try to talk to you civilized. But yet, whatever you've been through, it's hard. Like, again, we live in a world where it's easier to play the victim. Like, for example, if, let's say we both live in the same house, right? And then I ask you a question, and then you're like, "I'm not in you right now." I'm looking at you like, how is that a me problem? That's a you problem. And it's also a you problem because you left work. You came all the way home, and you still mad about work?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, stop playing victim.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it is what it is. But the one thing I'm learning as a man, especially what I learned in the wrestling business, is the moment that you stop blaming everyone else and you say, you know what? Let's say WWE, right? Dang, this is not using me. You know what? Let me see what I'm doing wrong. Zack Ryder taught me that. And one thing he meant that he did wrong was he never spoke up. He should have tackled and say that, what are you doing with my storyline? Why am I fighting Kane? What's the end game? He never asked questions.
Yes.
And every time Vince put him in good position, like when he won IC title, man, I'm just happy to win it. I'm just happy that I won. If it's 1 day or 2 days. As a boss, you want to hear that? Oh, okay. He's just the one that give him a little treat and that's it. You want to hear that? You know what? He hasn't busted his shot. Let me give him more.
Well, he didn't pay attention. He didn't see, and that's one thing. A lot of people want to make the world be what they want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't look at the world the way that it is. If you do any research on Vince, you know that he wants you to challenge him and talk shit. Like, man, if you work for the WWE, the best thing that you can do is step on Vince's toes a little bit and ask him what the fuck you doing with my character. And you know what I'm saying? If he talk shit, knock his ass down. Because that's what he like.
Yep, look at Kofi. Like he said that Kofi wrestled him and Vince gave him that respect. Honestly, yes, Kofi did. Like, if you hear what the New Day be saying about Kofi Kingston, it's like, you never call Kofi. Nah. Kofi's a baby face. Vince thinks so highly of Kofi. You don't think that Vince didn't bang with the New Day? Because he liked the fact that Xavier came in his office like, yo, if this doesn't work, you can fire me. And what happened? When Vince noticed that, it didn't work. So let us do it our way. Vince said, all right, let me do it. Like, Vince's type of person know about respect.
That's
Yeah, that's it. And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense to him. Yeah. But yet, he will, like, the fact that he came in the middle of the ring and told the world what he did to JR was wrong and gave him a plaque. He believes what I believe that, what I see that he believes that if I embarrass you in public, I'm going to deal with you in public.
I should bless you in public, yeah. I really, now, Vince done did, he done did some rotten shit like most rich motherfuckers did, but I can respect the fact that he did shit his way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I can respect the fact that he did shit his way, and I admire his fucking guts. Let's just say that.
Me too.
I admire his guts. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
But speaking of, like, you know, having things that you admire.
What's up?
There's a lot of people that I look up to, man, in the world, man, and I just wanted to hear from you what you thought about, like, some of the great guys like the Junkyard Dog and Butch Reed and Sonny King, and Rufus R. Jones, man, some of the old school cats that don't get no burn, man. You know what I'm saying? Talk about wrestling, but
in general, as far as just those guys who get the like their comments, they get it now. You know what I realize is you may not get the glory when you want the glory, but it comes when you least expect it. Yeah. Junkyard Dog, he can go to any wrestling con. Fans from old and new will love him. You know, someone like Farouk, you know, people will love him. Old and new will love him. You know, Kofi, same thing, old and new. D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's getting that recognition now. Like, yes, they made their money. They didn't get to act like they wanted to, but now, in some people's eyes, they're legends. And they all right, they are.
Definitely legends. They most definitely legends. When I think about the contributions of Smoky Mountain Wrestling and the Black stars that they made, like, because I'm from North Carolina, but I'm a Tennessee wrestling dude. And I think about, like, just the contributions, man, to modern wrestling. You got to think about Smoky Mountain Wrestling, man. You know what I'm saying? The Gangsters angle, just the whole way that they did a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Introducing people to New Jack and the D'Lo Brown. Came from there. You know, and this is a weird twist to the Nation of Domination story. Okay, the Nation of Domination was created by PG-13. Was a tag. All right, JC Ice and it was JC Ice, which is which is Jamie Dundee and what was my man's name? Wolf. Damn, what was it? JC Ice and something Wolf. You get their name. But man, Jamie Dundee, man, you go to his damn page and look him up online. Man, he done turned into a straight KKK type of dude, man. Your whole gimmick was based off of rap music. You came up with the Nation of Domination, and now you can't do nothing but say nigga this, nigga that. Sad.
Yeah.
Sad twist to that story.
Yeah, I know. Because he was in WWE too as one man gang. He was part of one man. No, not part of. He was part of him and Viscera was together too.
Jamie Dundee, little smart. That's Bill Dundee's son. This is the one I'm talking about. That was in PG-13.
But there was a guy who was with Viscera, and he helps out in the Nation of Domination.
Midian. You talking about Midian?
I can't remember his name. I think so. Yeah. So like I'm really bad with old school names. I'm really bad with them. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Because I know that yeah. Wolfie D and JC Ice. Was it Wolfie D?
I think of JC Ice. What was the name before that? WWE. What was WWE?
When they went to WWE, they was non-character. They was like background. They took the idea from them. They took the idea and made them like they never got owned in the WWE. JC Ice and Wolfie D. They might have got beat up a couple times on Raw. They was one of the with the Nation of Domination with the black little suit on. You never knew.
Okay. I remember. Okay. But speaking of that, I was watching something online, right? There's a YouTube show called Wrestling Bios. And they said, they're talking about racism in WWE. Huh?
Wrestling Bios?
Yeah. I'll send you a link to one of the videos. The one talking about racism in WWE. And one thing that they said, I was like, all right, it's reaching for this. They said on Dr. King Day, Seth Rollins curb stopped Big E. And they said it was wrong because they did it on Dr. King Day. And it was representing the movie American X when that guy cursed out the black guy to the curb. And I was just like, that's kind of reaching. A real reach. Like, I was just like, you think Vince and them was worried about American X movie? No, like, that's his finishing move. And it's called the curb stomp, aka the blackout, whatever you want to call it. And I realized, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of racism in WWE, right? Don't get me wrong. But I feel how it was then, where it was really racism, I didn't say not one word to it. But now, where it's just like a lot of like, come on, bro, you reaching. Like the time that, I remember one time it was Edge versus Ray Orton in that street fight. And when Ray Orton was choking him, Edge was choking with the weights. Oh, that's insensitive. Oh, you forget Chris Benoit. That's how he killed his
oh my
his
God. See, but that's that bullshit. People be screaming out for attention. They just want attention. That's all that is. That's that.
Thank you.
They want attention. But when you see racist shit, you call it out. But it's like my point with that story is that one of the creators of the Nation of Domination ended up being a fucking racist dickbag. Like to this day, you know what I'm saying? And good thing that they fucking stole his gimmick and used it for their own good and fucked him out of it. Good fucking job. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's and it done came all the way full circle. We started the conversation talking about black wrestling, and we went down through all kind of different little rabbit holes, and it was a great conversation. And now we back talking about black wrestling. And we're gonna have you on the Rap and Wrestling podcast, man. I reached out to
of course.
Yeah, man. Sure. Then we can really talk about shit, man. And we want to get y'all down to the next Urban Combat Wrestling show. And this is gonna be the first time that it's announced. we're gonna do a show September 5th at the Asheville Music Hall downtown Asheville. We got the date from the people, and so we're gonna go and we're gonna have some good wrestling there, and some good rappers, man, and we're gonna have a good ass time. Pretty much.
I can't wait.
Yeah, man. Man, appreciate you coming on, Mr. Blacc. Like I always say, man, this is Spaceman Jones with a smoke break, man. Make sure that y'all hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. You know what I'm saying? Leave a like, a comment, and head over to Urban Combat Wrestling page and check out the Rapid Wrestling Podcast. And also, oh yeah, man, take some time to plug your podcast again, man.
You can follow me on IG. I'm Mr. Blacc, MRBLACC. Follow my podcast page, the Java Tears Podcast. We subscribe to us on YouTube, everything, man. And YouTube, wherever you are, we're there. Follow us on podcasts, listen to on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever. Type in Java Tears, and we will be right there.
Man, think I'm gonna get back to making some beats, man. You have...
Man, you later, brother, man.
All right, man.
Later,
man.
This has been a smoke break with Spaceman Jones, sponsored by Earthy Now and Urban Combat Wrestling. See you next week.